Hello and welcome to Feedbackula, the show that's probably going to get pulled for cultural insensitivity very soon. Hold on tight, folks. This week we're going down under. So, Saints Row 4 is a game coming out in August this year, unless you live in Australia, that is. Owing to an anal probe gun and a mission in which you get to smoke drugs to acquire superpowers, the game has been denied classification in Oz. GameSpot approached Australian Prime Minister Paul Hogan for comment, but at the time of recording he had yet to come back to us. Now, if you're totally new to Saints Row, essentially it's a bombastic open-world game in which you run around doing bad things and getting yourself a criminal record, which should be familiar to Australians.
What the fuck?
So yes, as it currently stands, Saints Row 4 has been effectively banned in Australia as it's considered unacceptable in the land down under in its current form. Surprising really, given Saints Row the 3rd featured one of these. Big floppy cock bat. We now go to our man in the field in Australia for comment on the situation. It's fucking shit. Back to the studio. Yes, I think it's safe to say our commenters weren't best pleased.
The Australian government makes me shamed of being a Australian.
Give it an R18 plus and just stop sucking. People who find it offensive just don't buy it.
I really don't see what's the problem here.
I'm getting tired of this sex and drugs are worse than killing. Pissing on the corpse, putting a bomb in the anus and watching it explode and kill other civilians attitude. Well, not like any Australian would buy it in Australia where it would cost twice as much as elsewhere. They'll just import it like always.
So a colonoscopy is illegal in Australia?
No, but then a colonoscopy doesn't involve launching the patient into the air at high velocity. Not if it's done right, anyway.
Are you fucking serious? Dude, we have the fucking R18 plus rating. We fought for years to get it, just so this shit wouldn't happen anymore. This shit should not happen. Let us adults have the option to buy whatever the fuck we want. I don't even care that much about this game, but this shit just pisses me the fuck off. I fucking hate our stupid fucking politicians. As a 25-year-old gamer, I should have the fucking option to buy Saints Row 4 at a local store. Looks like I'll be importing, and the poilies get no tax on the sale.
But hey, while there is doubtless a lot of frustration at the move, all is not lost. Plans are to resubmit the game for classification with some changes, like removing the alien probe weapon. We got a sneak peek at this recut edition and are able to exclusively reveal it now. Really though, these people do have a point. Australians had to fight long and hard for an R18 rating, and to have the ban hammer swung quite so soon after its creation kind of adds insult to injury. While I understand those frustrations, however, I definitely don't think everyone in Australia should emigrate in protest. Censorship is an unfortunate reality we all have to face sometimes, and it has been for a long while. It's the reason Lady Chatterley's lover was banned in Britain for 32 years. It's the reason America wants to have a word with Edward Snowden, and it's the reason I have to wear trousers in the office.
Delightful.
Yes, having Saints Row 4 refuse classification sucks. Yes, it's especially galling now the R18 exists, theoretically allowing games like this to be published without issue in Australia. However, while I don't think this is going to earn me any friends, I feel I do have to point out the rhetoric some of you employed was just a little over the top.
Glad I don't live in communist Australia. Not getting this game anyways. It's made for people who still crack up over farts.
And the ironic part is that you all let them take away your real guns, and now they are going after your virtual ones. You can't do shit about it.
Anal probe weapons, Lamau. Is there anything Australia don't ban? Hate it when countries ban things.
Maybe it was banned because graphically it looks like a PS2 game.
I guess it's time for everyone to move out of Australia.
Absolutely! Abandon ship! Everyone get out while you still can! There's still loads of room in Earl's Court!
How's it feel to be living in a tyrannical state, Australians? The day the government starts banning video games it thinks are too naughty for adults is the day you are officially no longer a free person. Once the floodgates to government control are open, it just gets worse and worse. You live in a country that censors media, just like communist China or Russia. That would be enough for me to pack my stuff and jet. Bottom line, this is a frightening degree of control for any government to have over its citizens. You no longer are trusted as adults with video games. GameSpot should close up its Australian branch in protest. You realise they will probably censor GameSpot when it reports on the game, reviews it, or shows footage? Censorship, GameSpot! Are you going to sit by and allow that? I will personally chip in to bring all the GameSpot AU employees to the main headquarters so they don't lose their jobs. Censorship is control. It's time to stand up for free speech or be silenced forever.
Really now, I don't want to sound unsympathetic, but they're hardly being thrown in gulags. They're just going to get Saints Row 4 without a probe gun. And that's probably not even a bad thing, to be honest. Sexual violence isn't funny.
Get off my lawn, you son of a bitch!
Anyway, that's it from me. I assume I have a meeting with HR to attend after all these jokes about Australian people. If I'm not back next week, I've been fired. And to any Australians watching, I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean it, and I won't make any more jokes about Australia. Honest. Bye! That's not a knife! This is a knife!